Hello, everybody. Wow, we've already gotten 20 people joining us here today live. Thank you all very, very much for joining us today for this really exciting launch event where we will be showcasing and speaking on really the the first diaspora mortgage product, the first of its kind in Liberia, a product that was put together really in collaboration between Ecobank Liberia, T.A. Braithwaite, and Seso Global, Africa's trusted property marketplace. And we are very excited to have with us here as well the acting minister as well with us. And so I will start formalities in about 5 minutes. I'm just going to allow for people to join in within the next 5 minutes, and then we will start from there in 5 minutes, right? And the agenda for today, and I'll share it with the attendees shortly, is this 5 minutes for guests to arrive. We'll then have a welcome address from Dr. Botre, the MD for Ecobank Liberia. And then from there, we will have our keynote speech. We are very honored to be having this keynote speech from the Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Gabriel Sally. And then from there, we'll have a presentation from the Head of Consumer Banking for Ecobank, Mr. Gibson Coley. And then from there, Mr. Des Braithwaite, who's a Group Executive Director for T.A. Braithwaite Insurance Brokers, will give us a short presentation on the regulatory aspects that have been looked over and combed over for this particular project. Seso Global will then have our CEO, Daniel Ball, give a very quick presentation on Seso Global itself. And then from there, I will take us through the meat of the platform and take us through the platform from A to Z for those clients who are very interested in how to navigate the platform. Feel free to ask any questions within the chat that you may want to ask. We're happy to answer any questions to anyone within who are interested. Please just type away your questions and we'll answer it shortly. Thank you very much. And so we'll start in about 2 minutes. Thank you very much for your patience. Victor, if you don't mind sending this. Yes, please. You can ask questions through the Q&A portal, where you can ask the questions there and then we'll answer it. Yes, please. So please send the questions to the Q&A portion. Yes, we will send the recording. This is being recorded. It'll be sent to all attendees. So please just pose the questions within the Q&A portal, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. Fantastic. So thank you all for joining us today. I would like to, first of all, start by honoring our guests, our esteemed guests, for joining us here today. Thank you all for those that joined us here on this fantastic launch event. We are here with, and we'd like to honor the presence of the Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Gabriel Seli. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us this keynote speech. Also in attendance with us as well is Honorable Saran Kaba Jones, the Assistant Minister and Chief of Staff in the Office of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Thank you very much for joining us. We also have Honorable Daniel Kokoy Jr., Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank you very much for joining us here today. We also have Mr. Erasmus Williams, who's the head of the President's Diaspora Unit at the Ministry of State. It's a real honor to have you here today. As well, Miss G.T. Carter, who's also part of the President's Diaspora Unit at the Ministry of State. We also have Mr. Alfred Kapper, who's also with the team at the President's Diaspora Unit, Ministry of State. And then as well, the executive committee members of Ecobank Liberia. We are also very grateful as well, of course, to Dr. Edward Buttre, MD of Ecobank Group, for joining us here today, as well as Gibson Coley, who's the head of consumer banking at Ecobank Group, as well as other esteemed panelists, Mr. Des Braithwaite from T.A. Braithwaite, as well as Mr. Blige Ines and Mr. Sifas Dorpas, who are both esteemed real estate developers in Liberia. I'd like to start off this session, and as I mentioned, please send your questions via the Q&A portal on the Zoom application. I would like to start this off by giving time to Dr. Buttre to give us his welcoming remarks to kick off this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kweku. Honorable Gabriel Sali, the Acting Minister for Foreign Affairs, the officials from the Foreign Affairs Ministry, fellow panelists, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome. In the last few weeks, we've launched several products at Ecobank. Today, we launch yet another product, the Diaspora Mortgage. And together with our partners, we are excited to bring you this product. I think the positive feedback that we've had in the last few weeks concerning this product speaks clearly to the fact that the need is big, and our customers are excited for us to be able to launch this. To all the thousands of Liberians in the diaspora, to all the thousands of Liberians in the country, this really is your product. It is designed for you. It is meant to meet a specific need. And we are confident that as you onboard onto this product, your needs will be met. You can acquire property in a safe environment. You can do this with competitive pricing. At Ecobank, we continue to innovate, and we will continue to bring you various products that would help you to improve upon your daily lives. To our customers who have not yet fully onboarded onto our various platforms, I'd say that this is a great chance. To those who are not yet our customers, I would say this is a fantastic opportunity and a time to join the Ecobank family, because there are several more interesting products that we will be bringing to you. The role that banks play obviously is very important. And for us in Ecobank, we understand that our role is key. And these are products that we believe would help to improve. This would help to create jobs. This would help to keep the economy going. And we are excited to be part of this. Thank you very much for making time. My colleagues will share with you in detail how to onboard, how to be part of this. But please make it a point to not just hear us out, but really be part of this, because there are great benefits to be had. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for that, Dr. Butchery, and we are very, very very grateful to you and your team for working with us on this initiative, one that was spearheaded by you, of course, and your team to really bring in global capital into real estate markets in Liberia, utilizing your existing and very dynamic diaspora. And so I'm very, very glad and happy to offer the spotlight and the time to Honorable Gabriel Sali, who will give us his keynote speech in honor of this event. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Good evening to all of our panelists and those in the listening to us from Zoom. I bring you greetings from the Foreign Ministry, Republic of Liberia. And I also want to take this time to extend my thanks and appreciation to His Excellency for the opportunity granted to us to become part of his agenda as we foster the foreign policy of the Republic of Liberia. I also want to take this time to extend greeting on behalf of Her Excellency, the Foreign Minister of the Republic of Liberia, Her Excellency Cyril Yanti, who is currently away from here country, and we are serving in the capacity as she have instructed us to do so. I want to be thankful to I want to welcome all of our team from Foreign Ministry that is watching on the Zoom. The issue that we have to
Hello. Perhaps we've lost our Honorable. Can you, Victor, can you speak with me just so I know I am live?
You are live.
I'm live. Okay, all good. Okay, so unfortunately, I think we just lost the minister for a second. It might be a technical glitch. I'm pretty sure he will get back on, but no problem. In the meantime, while we wait for him, I'll play a video of one of our developments in the meantime, just so we give him time to get back on, right? No problem. Give me 1 second.
Vision Estate is a modern and affordable gated community featuring several estates across 3 phases located in Monrovia, Lower Margibi, and Lower.
Hello, sir. I see you are back.
Yeah, we went off basically. I don't know, maybe it was from your end or what, I don't know. But we automatically went off.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. No worries. You are back on. Please, the time is yours.
So, like I said, the issue of global development, diaspora initiative is of global concern. It's the paramount concern of this government. This government is interested in ensuring that our citizens that live in the diaspora are having a greater part to play in our national development. I think that is the reason we have already, there's a bill passed in the House of Representatives concerning the dual citizenship. And so the dual citizenship gives an opportunity to all our diasporan citizens of Liberia living in the diaspora to be part of the national development agenda of this country. That means they can come in and contribute and be part of the overall initiative that this government intends to do. Now, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Yuman Boakai, is primarily focusing, and he have taken this issue as a main agenda to enforce and to strengthen the relationship between those in the diaspora that have continued to support their country in so many ways. We believe over the years, Liberians have supported themselves here and supported their family in many ways, and most of them have decided to become part and parcel of the overall development of the country. And so by so doing, there have been issue of remittances. Remittances have been one of the major concerns that have created more concern and brought more development to even the banking sector, for which Ecobank can attest to it that over the years, Liberians in the diaspora have contributed significantly to the remittances need of our country. And so taking on such a project at this particular junction, we believe is a great plus for our overall development. Diaspora contribution to national development is not just a one-day event or overnight event. This has been a practice across the world. we realize even in Japan, in other part of the world, Japan, Lebanon, most of the diasporan citizens of those countries contributed significantly to the development of the country, especially when it comes to real estate. And so going back now and making it own property in Liberia and to also be part of the developmental initiative of this country, I think is in the right direction. And we want to commend the leadership of the business partners of Ecobank for such an opportunity, for such an initiative. So at this junction, we also want to emphasize another issue that relates to the partnership that has been established between the private sector and government sector. The government of Liberia is interested in doing business with Ecobank, and we also want to ensure that our desire to do business with you will bring many results in this return. Liberians in the diaspora are interested in also buying homes here, and we are also challenged by the fact that if we Ecobank get a partnership and promoting the Liberian agenda through the arrest agenda, we believe that this will go a long way. Let's say, for instance, this government agenda, which is the arrest agenda, emphasizes reconstruction and development. Reconstruction and development focuses on infrastructure development. And so if infrastructure ownership or owning property, real estate mortgaging will be part of the infrastructure development that has been enhanced by this government and that has been supported by the Ecobank, we believe that the government will be very excited and the president will be very appreciative of this initiative. And so we want to encourage most of our citizens across the world to take advantage of this opportunity, to take advantage of this initiative, to also learn that you can own property in Liberia. There are mortgage facilities in Liberia that you can also invest into the mortgage industry. As a real estate property, there's a turnover for you when you put your money back to the real estate engagement. And Ecobank, we want to say thank you on behalf of the government of Liberia that you are creating an opportunity to enhance this government initiative to bring Liberians back home and to make them part of the overall development agenda of our country. Because we believe the arrest agenda on infrastructure and reconstruction is also significant. We're expecting tourism, we're expecting agriculture, rural, reconstruction, infrastructure, education, sanitation, tourism. They are all interwoven. This cannot be done without, in absence of those individual Liberians that are all over the world that want to be part of this process. And so by giving them an opportunity to own property in Liberia, we believe it's in the right direction. And we are encouraging you and those other partners and other individuals who are also interested in doing business with the Liberian government to show that the business climate is effective and efficient. Take advantage of it because the president is excited and wants to see all Liberians becoming part of Liberian agenda of overall development. And one of the things we want to emphasize here today is that we want to encourage the Ecobank to ensure that the issue is transparent, is done in a way that others that would send their money, it will be credible enough to ensure it's protected. Liberian government is there to protect the investment of all Liberians through the financial system. And we want to encourage our citizens across the world to take advantage of this initiative because we believe this initiative is heading for the right direction. It's promoting our sense of unity. It's promoting our sense of development. It's also there to foster the agenda of the arrest, which is a vision of this government. And so I believe that Her Excellency, who is not currently here, the Foreign Minister, would be very much interested because this is one of her pilot projects. This is one of her pilot projects, the Diaspora Initiative. And she has gone all over the world trying to encourage members of the Liberian society to get involved with Liberian initiative and bring some investment opportunity. So at this junction, we are just overwhelmed and excited. And we think that this is heading for the right direction. And we want to commend all of you guys, all the panelists who are come today to be part of this thing as we launch this project. We say bravo to Ecobank and bravo to the team. We say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a great speech. Thank you very much, Honorable, for your time and the words you gave us and this level of encouragement and more importantly, supports that the government is looking to provide us and has already provided us as well in the launch of this product. So we're looking forward to doing more with the government on this. And I know, of course, just Ecobank is also very committed to this as well, alongside Seso and T.A. Braithwaite. So thank you very much for those words. To all the group that are attending and to all the 93 people attending here today, thank you very much for the time. You just heard the Honorable give a keynote speech. Please feel free to ask any questions you have in the Q&A section there, and we'll seek to answer that at the end of these presentations. I'm happy to move forward with our presentation with Ecobank. And so I'll have on here, Gibson Coley, who's the head of consumer banking for Ecobank Liberia, who will be giving us a presentation on the product itself. Gibson, are you there?
Yes, Kweku, I'm here.
Excellent, excellent. So I think you can see the presentation on the screen, right?
Yeah, very well.
Excellent. So just let me know when you want me to move forward, and then I'll assist you with the presentation. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So good afternoon, everyone. We are super excited to be a part of this particular program. This is something we work on for a very long time. At least we're here today in the final analysis to launch this all-important product. So I'll be doing for you a short presentation on how this product works, the things that are required, and then you'll be able to understand exactly when we speak about the diaspora mortgage, what are we talking about? So I'll start with the overview. So at Ecobank, we've tried as much as possible to identify the needs of our customers and then be able to do something to address those needs. We realize that Liberians outside of the country over the period of time have been wanting to own property, to own homes back in their homeland. But it's been a major challenge, and a lot of them, have been complaining on, how they send money back home and they don't get value for that money. And so the bank saw the need to just come in there and address that. So we're here today. So the diaspora mortgage actually is just an opportunity for our thousands of Liberians that live in the diaspora to have the opportunity to collaborate with Ecobank and T.A. Braithwaite to be able to own property back home. So what we've done as a bank and partner is to be able to develop a relationship with partners back home here in Liberia. About 3 of them that we've identified so far. And I think we have Millennium, Beta, we have Vision, ST, and then we have Alante. So we've established partnership with these developers in an attempt to be able to see how they could develop property for individuals in the diaspora that would want to have a home back here. So who are our target individuals? So we are looking at individuals in the diaspora that are either in the USA, in Canada, and then in the UK and other European countries. So those are the countries we're going to cover for now. So could we go to the next slide, please? So in terms of the mortgage, you have to be eligible. And what are the requirements? So in order for you to be eligible, you have to have access to our platform. And that platform is an app that has been set up by our partner. And so the requirements are there, and you have to have access to that platform. Ecobank will facilitate the implementation and administer the scheme. We are going to facilitate the process, and we will administer this entire scheme and subject to terms and agreement. So those terms and agreement will be shared with whoever the customer is that is interested. So we have pre-qualification for applicants, and that pre-qualification will be done by our partner. And that partner is T.A. Braithwaite, and then the Seso. Ecobank will also confirm applicants that have been identified by our partners as well. But that confirmation will be done based on our own set requirement. So Ecobank will also be able to grant facility to qualify individual, and that will be done basically based on our own risk acceptance criteria. So we're going to do analysis. So it's not that by the time you are recommended Ecobank, then means that you are qualified to have access to the facility or whatever facility that there need to be. So we from Ecobank will also have to have our own assessment, because our risk team will look at the entire process, look at the facility, do their own analysis, do due diligence, and then we qualify you before a facility can be granted to whoever the beneficiary is. Next slide, please. Now, requirement for diaspora mortgage. So potential borrower must commit to remit transfer payment to an account with Ecobank. What that means is that you have to have an account. You cannot access mortgage facility on this particular arrangement unless you have an account with Ecobank. The property will be under the registration of both Ecobank and the beneficiary until you pay us off. That property is still not yours. So we'll have power of attorney in favor of the bank as well. The deed, a sign, and then seal agreement on the property in favor of the bank. Because we have to protect ourselves as a bank. So we want to have mortgage protection policy for the value of the property, over time for the borrower. Now, the insurance that is going to cover this facility, of course, Ecobank has to be a loss payee. Let me take, for example, you have spent some money, you remitted some money for a particular property that you have interest in, and then the property is constructed. But if there, for any reason, maybe you didn't complete payment or something like that, and there's an incident of default, of course, the insurance takes over, and then Ecobank, if there's any damage or any loss, we will be loss payee. That payment is done to Ecobank. Please, next slide. So we also going to have two methods of payment. The first payment will be, you can pay upfront for a property that maybe you identify, and you want to just do a down payment. In that case, you can be granted the opportunity to have access to that property. The second option is that you put upfront 30% of the value of the property. That is a down payment of 30% of the value of the property, which means if you have 100,000 property that you want to acquire, Out of that 100,000, you have to have 30,000 upfront payment. And the arrangement is going to be made with the bank on how the next payment is going to be structured. Normally, what we do a percentage of completion arrangement where we do 30%, and then the payment is made. We do another 30%, and the payment is made, and then there's a retention of about 10%. Now, for the interest rate, annual interest rate on this arrangement is going to be 12.5%. Initially, we had something more than this as per the market, but I mean, based on discussion, we agreed that we're going to have a concession rate of 12.5%. Now, we agreed to run the mortgage for 8 years. We're going to give you up to 8 years. Again, we have 6 years, and after a discussion, we all agree that we're going to have up to 8 years, just to give our colleagues in the diaspora the opportunity to be able to own property here on a flexible arrangement. Next slide, please. So we also wanted to take a look at the processes on how do you remit funds to Liberia if you want to be part of this program. So we have online process whereby you can be able to open an account and remit funds to your account in Liberia. When you look at the slide where we have open your account online, what we have on there is a link, and you can be able to open that link and follow the process and be able to open an account. And that is 24/7. Now, customers in this category that we're going to work with, we will ensure that you have a relationship officer, a relationship manager, someone you can speak to. You have challenge. So you look at the right, we also have documentation required for opening an account. For those of you in the diaspora, of course, passport would be a requirement. You have to have photo attached to that application, and then you have to have proof of utility bill payment and all of that. And then you have to have a job. That is a requirement, because we don't want a situation where, you know, there's going to be default payment because maybe the beneficiary try to get some money to pay installment and they cannot pay. So if you have a steady job that pay you on a monthly basis, that puts you in a better position to be able to meet your installment payment. Further down, we also have some of our colleagues that are already available that you can contact for any question. So we have Nessa Smith, the phone number is there, or email is also there. We also have Abakar, that is Ikwa, she's also available. And then Jane Montgomery is also available to assist you. Please, the next slide. Now, payment methods. So Ecobank today has rapid transfer, and this rapid transfer we have international, works in Europe. You go on the Play Store, you can be able to download a rapid transfer and remit payment to your account here in Liberia. We also have the Ecobank Online. It's a web-based platform. On that platform, you sit any part of this world and transfer money to your account in Liberia or to anywhere. You just have to have the information of the beneficiary. And then we also have the means where you send money through Western Union, you send money through RIA, you send money through MoneyGram. You can remit your money through those means as well. So Ecobank today is also working on something we call remittance direct to account. So once you get that working, and that's going to be in the next latest 1 month time, we're going to get this platform ready. So you can sit in the US, sit anywhere, and also use their remittance platform to send money directly to your account. So we are encouraging our diaspora brothers and sisters, family members that are in the diaspora, to use the Ecobank platform. You can open an account online. You can save your money. In fact, it's better for you to begin to open an account now, begin to save money. So just in case you identify a property that you are interested in, that you want to acquire, you already have some money sitting down here in Liberia, and then you just arrange with us, and then you start. You will begin making payment that will qualify you to be able to acquire a property. So Ecobank is here for all. We're here for the diaspora customers, our brothers and sisters. We know what you've been going through for a very long time. And for me, this is a landmark project that we've launched today to be able to assist you so that you don't send your money to individuals who will not give you the value for that money that you remit back home to own the property. Next slide. So I think that ends my presentation. If there are questions, there are comments, we'll take your questions, we'll take your comment if there are any. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Gibson. That was a very detailed presentation, and you can see the work that has been put in to provide this product and the commitment from Ecobank as well to provide this product to the Liberian diaspora. It's something that we commend the bank for, and we're very sort of glad to be working with you all on this initiative. I can see all the many questions, and we'll get to them at a specific point. Please feel free to ask the questions. And like I said, after the presentations, we will then address those questions shortly. I will now like to give the time, and Gibson, if you don't mind, sorry, just muting, if you don't mind. Thank you. I would like to now give the floor to Mr. Des Braithwaite as Group Executive Director for T.A. Braithwaite Insurance, who is obviously a key partner on this and brought a lot of know-how and expertise with respect to the regulatory aspects of putting this together. I'd like to give him the floor so he can now then sort of present and speak on that specific matter. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Kweku, and it's nice to be here today after such a long time. The Honorable Minister, members of the Cabinet, and officials of the Liberian government, our collaborators, Ecobank, our real estate developers, and all our esteemed guests who have taken time to join us at this virtual launch of the Diaspora Mortgage Scheme. This is the primus inter pares of diaspora mortgage products. Let me rewind a bit to let you know the origins of this scheme that has been devised, designed, and developed by the trio of T.A. Braithwaite, Seso Global, and our liquidity partner, Ecobank. Mortgages are not new to Africa. However, a well-designed end-to-end app-based mortgage scheme is novel. This scheme, which has been launched today, has a starting point in Liberia and is on course to be deployed in 10 countries in the next couple of months, before we move through the wider Ecobank subsidiaries in 33 African countries, which makes Ecobank the largest bank in Africa by footprint. Coupled with Ecobank's sterling reputation of being a solid institution, we are already generating a lot of interest for our diaspora mortgage product in the United Kingdom, the European Union, the United States, and Canada. This has been a long journey created out of need to provide the product that eluded diaspora Africans for too long. The design, development, and deployment of this scheme has taken 3 years. Essentially, in order to perfect the tech, as this is a tech-based end-to-end scheme, and to ensure that the scheme is operating within the regulatory framework of the countries where we are originating the mortgages, and also meeting the regulatory requirements of the countries in which the properties are based. We are pleased to inform you that all processes to ensure that we are compliant with all regulations have been achieved and stress tested in the true Ecobank tradition. For the record, regulatory and legal due diligence took 1 full year in order to provide the diaspora African with a safe and enduring product. The diaspora mortgage product allows the African diaspora, who traditionally builds houses block by block over a period of years, which processes demonstrates the tenacity of the diasporan African to own a property through blood, sweat, and tears. This traditional development model creates issues with quality, degrade of the property, fraud, and unfortunately, outright theft. However, more important on the macro side, and as you heard from the Assistant Honorable Minister, is the inability to track the diaspora remittances. The diaspora mortgage scheme is a diaspora remittance driver. The diaspora mortgage schemes allows diasporans to assess the affordability of the scheme, be offered competitive and convenient payment plans, and also life, critical illness, and disability insurance to ensure the continuity of the mortgage payments in the event of any of these occurrences. Once the mortgage has been approved, and as said by Gibson, and on the payment of a 30% equity, which is a deposit contribution of the value of the property, you immediately own and have available for occupation your choice of property. The money you have been using to build block by block over 10 years is now paid to a financial institution in a seamless manner as a repayment on your own property. In Liberia, as we've heard, this is an 8-year term. In other places, the terms differ. The property, as the mortgage is paid off, also becomes a security for you, the borrower. You can actually use your equity in the property. This is a first, being an African cross-border scheme that is using a pure tech-based solution. This is the first widespread and far-reaching opportunity that meets the needs of several thousands of diaspora Africans who remit billions of dollars annually to their home countries. When we started this journey, we realized that diaspora remittances to a country like Nigeria was at a rate of $20 billion in 2022, and is not far off the oil export revenue of that country. Diaspora remittances to Liberia in 2022 amounted to $690 million. Much of this is not formally tracked. This volume of inflows, which an estimated 20% or $138 million could be a clear driver of the construction industry, as the Honorable Minister said, and create another layer of construction finance which diaspora mortgage will take out at the end of the construction period. During the COVID years, when this idea was born, we realized that most diaspora Africans, whilst for economic and other needs, like to live and work in their countries of residence or second citizenship, if I may say so, want to return to their countries of origin to retire and spend their old age in a more conducive environment, offering family support similar to what is occurring in the Caribbean countries. We commend the team from Seso Global, Ecobank, and T.A. Braithwaite, who have worked very hard creating this one-stop app-based product as we look forward to meeting all your mortgage needs and more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Des, for that speech. And I think it touched on the real aspects which are very important to all parties involved to ensure that this process is being done in a trusted, transparent manner that follows all regulations and legal aspects to the T. And so we're very grateful for that speech. From now, and please, of course, please feel free to put the questions in. I did share the link with one of the questions that were answered to the website, so you can go play around with that, but we will present that shortly, actually. But I would like to give the time to the Seso Global CEO, Daniel Block, who will give us a short presentation on Seso Global, and then from there, I will then showcase the platform. Thank you. Hello, Daniel. Are you there? Victor, can you hear me? Can you just say you can hear me, just so I know you're there? I'm live. Okay. Okay, no worries. Perhaps Daniel, if you don't mind, I'll go through the presentation as you go through the slides. So if you just, so Seso Global is the Zillow of Africa. And for those in the United States, you know Zillow very well. For Seso Global, we've been operating since 2020 in Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa, and we are very excited to be launching here in Liberia with Ecobank, such an esteemed brand to be working with. And our ethos is the 3 T's, which is trust, transparency, and technology. And so utilizing technology to bring a level of trust and transparency to the real estate space in Africa. And we've done this by partnering, as you can see, with several real estate developers in each country. These are developers that we vet before we onboard, create an exclusive club of properties on our existing website. But where this website even takes it another level is that the bank will also have to obviously vet the developer. In vetting all of these developments, we've worked with law firms to do this as well. And so we work with various law firms and also property management companies. I know questions around investment units are also very key, very key. And so short-term rentals, etc., long-term rentals, we also assist clients with this as well. And of course, with the mortgage finance aspect, this is very, very key, very, very necessary. I think it's very, very important that Ecobank is providing those in the diaspora with a portal, a way in which they can now finance properties. Next slide, please.
Yeah, I think I got the sound working. All right, thanks, Kweku. And I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you to the Honorable Minister for joining us today, and our partners, Ecobank and T.A. Braithwaite. And I just go on a few points about the Seso platform. And thank you, Kweku, for assisting there. So Seso at the core is a technology platform where we use technology to verify and store the data on the platform. So one thing you can be sure of with Seso is that all of the properties on the platform have been verified and vetted before they're made accessible on the marketplace. Seso provides a fully integrated end-to-end technology stack that serves the real estate market. And so when you come onto our platform, you'll find our marketplace where you can view the properties that are for sale, that have been verified and vetted. You can request a service, you can request a mortgage, and view all the details of the properties. And you can be assured that behind the Seso marketplace is our Seso CRM, we call the Prop OS, which is a custom-built management system where we store all the property documents, data, transaction history, such that you can note that all of the collateral with the properties is being stored by Seso and verified, so that you will have access when you inquire about the property. So it's not just to see the property and trust that everything's in place. We hold those documents for you, so they give you the confidence that the properties have been verified and vetted. And long term, what our plan is to use technology to build a trusted registry of properties that can be used by yourselves, the buyers and the clients, but also be an asset for our partners such as Ecobank and T.A. Braithwaite to provide further products and financing on verified properties, and for the government to utilize our digital verification system for the properties that are onboarding onto the platform. I would note just a background that Seso's made consistent strides to date. We launched our platform in 2018 and went fully live in Ghana and Nigeria about 2020. And so last year, Seso was able to sell over 88 properties through the platform. To date, we've done over 200 transactions on the platform, over $20 million in sales and secure transactions through Seso. So you can be assured that you are working with a company with a proven track record and a system that ensures trust and transparency. Thank you very much, and Kwaku will take us through how the site works.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Daniel, for that presentation on the company Seso Global, for which I serve as Chief Commercial Officer. So I'm very happy to take you through the website here today, and I'm just going to do a live demo for you all in terms of what the platform offers and how we'll be looking to improve and upgrade it as well over the course. Please, I've sent the link in the Q&A, but this link will also be sent to everybody as well, of course, to play around it. Please give us your opinion on the website as well, and so that we can work to improve this moving forward. And so looking at it, you can see there is a welcome page that allows you to select a particular country. As Des has mentioned, and as Ecobank has mentioned, we are focused on 4 main jurisdictions. One is not here at this time. We are finalizing the regulatory aspects with the EU jurisdiction, and so we'll get that sorted soon. But of course, I do know a lot of Liberian diaspora based in the United States, and certainly there are a few in Canada and the United Kingdom as well. And for those that may need to reach out to us as well, who are outside of these jurisdictions, please feel free to put your information here. This information helps us gather enough data to understand which places to perhaps focus on next, which places we may be able to assist potentially. But for now, as has been mentioned by Ecobank and the team, we are focused on 4 main jurisdictions: Canada, United States, United Kingdom, and the European Union. And so click on here if you're based in the States. You see here just a welcome page again. And Ecobank Liberia, in partnership with Seso Global and T.A. Braithwaite, of course, our partners here. You'll find some language here, which is very important to read. But this language here shows you actually our partners on the ground in the United States who will be processing your information, the credit checks, and other checks that are required, required and stamped to be able to share with Ecobank, who will give final approval. Of course, you can find us here. We have a US phone number as well, an email that you can reach out to us in terms of any information that is required. So of course, and this particular partner we have as well, I should mention, is licensed in 49 states. The only state, unfortunately, is Hawaii. So for those Liberians in Hawaii, my apologies. We'll work on fixing that shortly. And so on the platform today, you find the various properties. And so today, as we mentioned, we are working with 3 developers. We're processing just one of them shortly, Millennium, who do have fully built units as well available. As you can imagine, in any newer market, with newer real estate developers, you will find more off-plan solutions. But as Ecobank has mentioned, they will be working with some of these companies to build out the necessary inventory as well. But the mortgage is available for off-plan. The bank will assist you with facilitating these for any off-plan units to ensure that it's done in the right manner, it's done in a very transparent manner, and to ensure that these buildings are built to the highest level for the customer, right? So as we mentioned, today we do offer properties in Monrovia. We're going to hope to expand this over time. Obviously, any real estate developers out there who are operating in Liberia, please feel free to reach out to us or Ecobank. You'll need to be vetted and verified by Ecobank and by the team as well before you can onboard here, because it's very paramount that we are only working with legitimate real estate developers. Of course, if there's any issues by any developer, the legal team at Ecobank is ready to step in if there are any issues, which of course we hope there are none. And so today in Congoville and Painesville is where we have these properties. As I mentioned, we will have fully built properties on the platform shortly, but today what we're offering is off plan. You can input your searching based on price. The pricing is in US dollar. And so picking on one of these properties, you'll find on here, this lovely 4-bed in Congo Town, which you can sort of view the pictures here on the particular property right here. You can also ascertain the location on the map as well, and you can also review some of the key features of the particular property. You'll also be able to see various similar properties here. And so clicking on mortgage request, which is of course the key denotation here, you'll find the mortgage calculator. On the mortgage calculator, based on the property you requested, it'll input that information in here just for you. And as was mentioned, the down payment is 30% of the price of the property. And so 30% of this comes about $29,700, which you can see right here at 12.5%, and looking at a repayment period of 8 years, between 5 to 8 years. And so this graphic here tells you, of course, the down payment, the outstanding loan that you're required to pay for the mortgage. It also gives you an indication of how much you're paying per month, right? And so this is the assessment that is really made to understand whether or not you can afford this payment every month for the duration and the tenor of the mortgage, right? And so you can see here 12.5% is a revolutionary number in Liberia. And we're sort of very excited to be offering this product to clients, which is offering them really flexibility, right? Peace of mind, flexibility of payments, etc., to enable them to purchase real estate in Liberia. And so for any new customer, we ask you to input your details here. You can put in any information you want in here as well. That gives us a bit more detail, perhaps your budget, etc. And then click on request a mortgage. You will be asked to create an account so you can sign in to that account. From there, and then really we then move to the application form. And so everyone has a profile. You can update that profile, but of course the application form is the key element here, right? And with respect to that, you can either apply through an individual or joint application. The mortgage type, the only mortgage type being offered here is home purchase, and the currency being utilized today is a dollar, right? And so again, you can see the information has been inputted here as well based on the mortgage calculator. It inputs the information that was put in there, 12.5, 8-year loan, down payment, etc. I will be asking clients, and of course we can assist clients through this process, but of course it's imperative that the client is a big part of this process. We'll need a photograph from you. We'll need other pertinent information from you, including your name, your passport documents, your residential address, etc. And if there's a joint applicant, we'll need that information as well from them. Any employment information as well is required from the client as well. And again, if there's a joint applicant as well. And then similarly, bank details, which will be very important for this process. We'll also require some basic financial information, your salary, any commissions, any other income, social security fund, etc. If any, we'll require that information from you all. Of course, if you do have an existing mortgage, we'll need that information as well. That helps us assess how much really you can pay within a month as a client. And we'll need some information around your assets and any liabilities as well, so we can input that information here, right, as well, again, to assess credit your credit assessment. The property that you pick will also be inputted here directly, right through as well. The company that you picked when you were requesting for a mortgage will be inputted here. And then any required documents that we may need, especially key here is any bio data of your passport, etc. Some of this information is very necessary, and so we'll require that they are uploaded here through the platform. Insurance is very key, especially for the clients. Will need a life, disability, or critical illness insurance. If you do have any, please input that here, and we'll assess if that insurance it fits the criteria for what is required. Of course, if you do not have that insurance, we can arrange that for you through our partners, T.A. Braithwaite. You will be required to sign off on a declaration form here. This gives us the authority to do this credit assessment, etc., and to utilize your information that you provided here for this assessment, and etc. There's a summary page here which you can utilize to review the whole process as well. And then there is a payment that is required, an underwriting payment that is required to assess you. This fee is non-refundable, as it is a payment that is required by our partners to assess you in country, whether that be US, UK, Canada, and certainly soon as well within the European Union. So this gives you a real overview of the total platform today. Of course, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I've sent the link here. The link will also be sent to everyone as well, so that we can sort of start some applications for the people who are very keen to purchase property. I understand there are a lot of people who are very keen to buy homes today, especially with the two developers that I'll be sort of highlighting today. And we will continue to improve upon the platform as well. And so feel free to send any suggestions or feedback. Okay, so thank you very much for taking the time to review that with me. I'd like to move towards a sort of a quick presentation or speech from my good friend Cephas Dorpo. I'm going to start with you. So I'm going to play a video which just highlights your development, and then from there, I'd love for you to sort of say a few words as well about your development, and also, of course, about this partnership with Ecobank. Thank you. Wait, I hope you can all hear the sound. Give me 1 second. Let me do it again. Let me make sure you can hear all this sound.
Vision Estate is a modern and affordable gated community featuring several estates across 3 phases located in Monrovia, Lower Margibi, and Lower Bausa County. We are revolutionizing the housing landscape in Liberia, aiming to transform how Liberians, both locally and abroad, perceive a housing market that is currently underdeveloped. Our offering includes a 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow, a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath bungalow executive, a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath bungalow, a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath duplex, and the 4-bedroom, 4.5-bath duplex. We are committed to fostering substantial development in Liberia, providing opportunities for Liberians and investors to own beautiful modern homes. Our mission is to help bring Liberia in line with global standards. We acquire several acres of land in and around Monrovia to accommodate these modern builds. Our phase 1 is currently under construction, with some homes at 60% completion and the rest being built off plan. Our team of engineers, architects, and general contractors have combined decades of experience and are also contributing to changing the Liberian skyline. In addition to our estates, we build and manage construction projects for our clients on their own land, including one of Liberia's most modern luxury condos now under construction on Painesville GSA Road by our team. We assure you that we put absolute transparency at the forefront of our business. There has always been fear when it comes to sending money to people you know from the past, whether it be in family or friends. This, along with the need for a strong housing market, fuels our burning desire to bridge this gap. You can reach us on www.visionestatesliberia.com, or also you can contact us on 231-886-839088, or for a U.S. number 651-216-5914 or 763-344-3624.
Excellent. I'd love to give the floor to Sefas, please. The floor is yours. Please give us just a quick, 2-3 minutes on your development. Thank you.
All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Thank you so much for the opportunity. More than ecstatic to be here to see this come to fruition. Of course, something that I've been dreaming about in the past since my first visit back home to Liberia. And I'm pretty sure Liberians all around the world who've been back home felt the same way as well. So I appreciate all the panelists, the representative from the government, and all the associates on this call. So Vision Estates basically was birthed out of the need to bridge that gap that's been mentioned earlier by Seso Global and myself, of Liberians really trying to own back home. It's always been a struggle. I myself have been through that. My business partners has been through that. That kind of is what fueled this whole venture of trying to bridge that gap, and having Diaspora and Liberians who are working tirelessly and are just dreaming about going back home to live a more slow-paced life and reconnect with their family. So that's how this entire venture was created, from myself, my business partner, and other in America and also in Liberia who are architects, general contractors, engineers that came together to create this venture. Now, we're currently in 3 places in Monrovia. We're on the highway, in Marshall, expanding in Lower Margibi as well. As you could see, most of our properties are still in the construction phase, and a lot of which are being built off plan. So with this partnership, we can assure the Liberian people that there's going to be a lot of transparency, also to really secure your funds, because I know how hard it is to earn a dollar in the diaspora. So want to make sure your funds are being put to use correctly and with full transparency as well. So I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. I do want to appreciate the panelists. I want to appreciate everybody on the call. And definitely, I've been speaking to a lot of people outside of here as well on social media. So we are going to connect. But I just want to say thank you to everybody out there, and thanks for the platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Sefas, for this. And we will obviously be working with you to sort of get more people to sort of buy at your estate through the Ecobank program. So there's a lot we're going to be doing together in Liberia and in the diaspora as well to push to get more people to know about this product, know about your product, right, and help us build out actually the real estate stock in Ghana. In Liberia. Thank you very much for your time.
You. Appreciate it.
So I will now move to Ikemba now. Just give me 1 second. I'll just put it up on the screen.
Liberia's demand for well-planned, modern, and quality homes is on the rise. That's why we're meeting that need through a one-of-a-kind housing development. Akemba Investment Group presents Atlantic View Residences, a 15-unit townhome development in Painesville that's going to change the face of housing in Liberia forever. Discover sophisticated living at Atlantic View Residences, where modernist design meets lush, natural beauty. Our homes feature clean lines and an open plan layout, creating an atmosphere of eerie, efficient living. Every detail, from the elegant finishes to the thoughtfully designed amenities, is curated to enhance your quality of life. Imagine coming home to a space that feels both serene and luxurious, with lush greenery providing a peaceful oasis right outside your door. Atlantic View Residences isn't just a place to live, it's a place to thrive. Come experience the lifestyle you've always dreamed of, tailored to offer you a once-in-a-lifetime living experience. Welcome home to Atlantic View.
Excellent, excellent. Blige, PJ, the time is yours now. I hope you are on here.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you, Kweku, and thank you to the Ecobank team. Thank you to Seso Global and all of the other stakeholders of this project. We appreciate your trust and support in our company and our development and supporting Liberian developers as a whole to be able to make this dream a reality that is going to open up the doors for not just us, the two developers that are on this call, but for several other developers to come. As you all saw briefly, our development, Atlantic View Residences, is a 15-unit townhome development that is currently under construction in the Painesville community. If you're familiar with the Bible Way Mission community, the development is right after Bible Way Mission School down to the beach. The development is steps away from the ocean, so serene views from the master bedroom balcony and from the future clubhouse of the Atlantic Ocean. Our dream and vision is to be able to create community. Our townhomes are 1,700 square feet of 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathroom units, open floor plan concepts. Our development is also going to be completed and furnished with all of the appliances. So your home basically comes with your stove, your microwave, your refrigerator, all of the needed appliances. Basically, all you're doing here is just moving into the property. The community is also going to have property management services. We're going to have a clubhouse that's, when it's complete, it's going to include a gym, a lounge, and other amenities for residents who are going to be living here. This development is not just for people who are coming and looking for full-time housing. This can also be used for investment properties. So if you're living abroad and you're in Liberia maybe half of the year and you're looking for a place that you can probably put on Airbnb or another rental platform for a short-term rental, this is absolutely the development for you. We also have a real estate company that's going to be handling the property management. Residents are also going to be able to pay a management fee of $150 per month. That's going to cover trash pickups, security, general maintenance, and other amenity needs for the shared common areas. So we're excited. We already have a model home that went up. You're free to go and visit the site if you reach out to us. Our model home actually was recently purchased. We have some new contracts that have just come in for us as well that we're about to start construction on. So if you are in the area, if you're in Liberia, if you would like to take a tour of the site, we're more than happy for you to go and visit the existing property that we've completed. And we look forward to working with you all. And we're excited for this mortgage program that's going to open up the door to give you some more flexible options. Thank you. And we look forward to connecting with you. You can reach us at www.avrliberia.com or on Instagram at avrliberia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vijay, for that presentation. And we're very excited to be working with you all. Very lovely, lovely property that you showcased there on the video. And so, of course, we are into the Q&A portion of things. I see a lot of questions, about 70 questions. We will do our best to answer the questions here on this call. We'll give, if our panelists have the time, we'll stay on for about another 30 minutes, if so, to answer the questions that are in. Of course, anyone that needs to leave within the next 15 minutes, please let us know, and we'll honor your appearance and allow you to obviously leave us here. But we'll look to answer the questions for those that have been able to plug it in here. I do want to note, and also, of course, we're very grateful to the non-Liberians on the call who have joined us here today from all over. I know that a lot of people interested in what Ecobank does, regardless, across the continent. And a lot of people are obviously very interested in this particular product. As Des Braithwaite mentioned, the plan is to launch in 10 countries within the next several months with Ecobank. And our plan is to do that and provide this service, which is wonderful for Liberia, across the continent as well. So I'll start with a few of the questions. I'll ask some of the panelists to assist me if I cannot particularly answer the question, or perhaps it's a stronger answer can be given from the panelists. So in terms of, and we're very grateful actually, and perhaps to the Honorable Gabriel Sally for joining us here today. There is a question perhaps directed towards the government, if you can able to answer, just around how the government will be looking to secure the support for this program, if there are other initiatives that are being put in place already or are being thought of to help support this program? Honorable, I don't know if you are still with us, and if so, if you can help me answer that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm still with you. I think the government of Liberia have what we call the National Housing Authority. The National Housing Authority is the organ of government that also seek to provide real estate support for citizenry. And I think there have been series of projects in that direction. However, since this is a private sector, there should be a level of a partnership between the government of Liberia and the private sector, which of course is the banking system and that. And depending on what will be the returns, I think the government can work with National Housing Authority. The bank can work with National Housing Authority to see how best they can coordinate the authority in promoting government agenda or to provide land and other support area. I think the bank can work with the National Housing Authority to allocate place land and property that can be used for development initiative. If that will help, there should be a coordination and partnership agreement in that level, I think. But as so far we're concerned, the government of Liberia is also fostering that direction through the National Housing Authority, and that is what government can support directly.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that concise and direct answer. Definitely, there's a lot to do with the Housing Authority and the government itself. Thank you very much, Honorable. And so another question is around off-plan, and I think, as we mentioned, there will be off-plan properties as well as fully built units provided there. The question is, does the platform facilitate construction loans? The bank will be working with reputable developers to provide them with the appropriate loans if they fit the specific criteria, and especially if there is interest from mortgagees or buyers to apply for a mortgage for a specific property. That, of course, increases the likelihood of construction loans for the particular property. There's another question from Cynthia. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Are these mortgages insured on behalf of the homeowner? If so, who is the insurer? Perhaps Des Braithwaite, if you don't mind, I'll give you the floor to perhaps answer that question on insurance.
Thank you, Kweku, and thank you for the person who thank you to the person who raised the question. Very important question. Yes, the properties are insured. Casualty insurance, fire, flood, and all the insurances that you need to protect the asset. In the first instance, this will be a collaborative insurance with Ecobank in as much as they have a 70% stake in the property. So we are talking to Sunu insurers right now, and then there are also other insurance companies in Liberia. You may have a preference, and it's as directed, it's tailor-made. We will listen to the bank and yourselves as to who to insure the property with. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much for that. I think we've answered this question about the Liberian government and Ecobank. Thank you. What international financial industry is associated with Ecobank? I think this question perhaps can be for another day. Some of these questions have been answered in terms of the tenure for the mortgage. Yes, you can. There's a question here from an anonymous person. How many years will the mortgage be for? And can I take a mortgage loan in the USA? Of course, any individual can get a private loan or a home equity loan in the United States to purchase property anywhere, especially in Liberia. But for the purpose of this discussion here, we're speaking on Ecobank providing those in the diaspora, so those of Liberian descent who live in the United States, United Kingdom, US, and the European Union who wish to purchase property back in Liberia. There's an 8-year mortgage at a 12.5% annual rate being offered with a 30% down payment being required. I live in another African country. It means I am not eligible. Unfortunately, not today. You would need to be of Liberian descent, living in the United States, UK, and the European Union. As Des has mentioned before, we are planning to push this fantastic initiative which started in Liberia, of course, across the continent with Ecobank. And so perhaps you can visit the website, let us know what country you're from, and we'll look to maybe target those countries if there's a higher demand to start with. Yes, thanks, Ecobank. So I think we've given the eligibility requirements, and we can. And there's a question here around: can you elaborate on the assets an individual would need? I think that's a question we can answer, on an individual basis. And with respect to Ecobank assessing clients, it will be specifically based on the internal credit team's criteria. Liberia does not have a credit rating system in place, so I'm assuming you'll be using US standard. And if so, what is the minimum credit score that is required for pre-approval? How will you all apprise the value of the property? What system will be in place to assess and track this? Perhaps, Gibson, I don't know if you can help me at least answer this to a certain level. I know some of these details perhaps we provide to clients personally or in private, but if you can give an overview.
Yeah, so Kweku, we rely on you for individuals in the diaspora.
Yes.
What we do locally is that we assess you based on your cash flow. And that is the reason why we emphasize the fact that you have to have a job, you have to be employed so that you have a cash flow. Now, that analysis is done based on your salary and then calculated over a period of the 8 years. A percentage of your salary calculated over a period of 8 years. In this case, we don't have access to that. So the credit scoring that you do is what we're going to rely on for those customers. For those that are in Liberia, because we already do that local diaspora mortgage here as well. So basically, we look at your salary, we take 33.3% of that, and then we multiply on the number of months that fall within the 8 years. And that's the amount you are qualified for. That is the DSR. So if we do the calculation, it's up to 100,000, you are qualified to have access to 100,000.
Got it.
I don't know if I don't know if I answered that question properly.
I think you did perfectly. Just with respect to how will the appraisal for the properties be done? What system will be in place to assess and track this? I understand your legal. You have third-party providers that are vetted by you all that provide this service, right? In terms of value.
Yeah, definitely. So we will hire a local consultant firm, construction consultant firm that will be responsible to do the assessment, because we as bankers would not have that expertise to be assessing quality of a property and all of that. So part of the plan is to work with a consultant company that will do those assessments.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you very much. Another question here. Once a mortgage is approved for a home, how soon is it available to live in? I think this depends, of course, if it's off plan or a fully built unit, right? And of course, when the disbursement is made. And so with off plan, even once it's, the mortgage is the mortgage will only be dispersed for fully built units. And so the bank will work with the developer on an off-plan unit to ensure and monitor that the building is being built out to the level before full disbursement can be made. But it will monitor the disbursement over the period of time to ensure that the developer is able to complete the building. But full disbursement is only made once there's a fully built unit. Does Ecobank have an ability?
Yes. So let me just say something.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, sure, of course.
Yeah, so we are going to sign an agreement with each of the developers. So you tell us how long is it going to take to complete a property, assuming you are fully paid. All right. If there is this first 30% and the bank, be able to grant the balance 70%, and we have to pay you to construct a property, how long is that going to be? So all the different terms will be there. We're going to sign an agreement because we don't want to leave it open so that, a company will not take advantage. You give it to them. They want to work at their own time and deliver late. We want to be sure we are straight with that. So an agreement will be signed, and there will be penalty for breach of any of the provision of that agreement. We're going to make sure we have all that straight so that we don't take people money and then we have challenge at the end of the day.
That is absolutely necessary and very important. Thank you for that. And that's another way the bank is protecting you, the clients, right, to ensure that the product is being built and built at the level that it is required. Does Ecobank have an affiliate program where payments can be made where we domicile, then reflected to our accounts in Liberia? I'll perhaps give you that question as well, Gibson. I don't know if you can help me answer.
Yeah, so I think during my presentation, I mentioned that you have to open an account with Ecobank and remit funds to that account. And then I also mentioned the different means that you can utilize to be able to remit funds. And I said, I think we have, once you have an account, we give you all our digital platform, and we have the Ecobank Online that is a web-based. You can sit any part of this world and then use that platform to remit funds to your account to Ecobank here. And then I also made mention of the different remittance product, third-party remittance products, the Western Union MoneyGram, and then we have that now. And we have the Rapid Transfer International for those that are in Europe. You go on the Play Store or the App Store and just look for Ecobank Rapid Transfer International. Download that. It also allows you to transfer money to your account in Ecobank. So there are several means there. But like I said, we also have our police names that I mentioned during the presentation that you can contact in case you want to remit money and you have challenge. They will assist you.
Fantastic. I think there's a question here about the pricing of the homes. Perhaps I'll give the floor to Blige and Sefas just to speak on pricing and ensuring that we're providing customers with the best pricing, best bang for your buck for what they are being offered. Perhaps I don't know. I'll give the floor to you, Sefas or Blige. Any of you can help answer that question around the pricing of the homes.
Yes, Blige here. So we have one model of units, basically all 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathroom units. The starting price is $175,000, and we have $4,000 in closing costs that goes towards legal fees, registration of deed, transfer of titles, and commission. So the base price starts off at about, with closing costs, $179,000. That is if you're going with the base product. You do have an option to upgrade. So if you wanted to add some additional upgrades apart from the base product, obviously we will price that and give that to you as well. And then that will be wrapped up into your contract. But that's something that we would discuss. We usually do a consultation with interested buyers.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I don't know if Sefas, you want to add anything?
Yes, definitely. So similar to our process as well. Currently, our kind of like most popular home that folks are asking about, smaller units, of course, these are starter homes as well. Is 49,000. Basically, again, these are the base units, so it always starts at that amount. You can always upgrade, right, based on finishes and things like that. You can always upgrade. That's when we do a full quote, basically. So again, all of these are customers reaching out to us and having a conversation and seeing where they want to go. All associated fees as far as closing costs and deed transfer and registration will be also discussed based on the price of the property, since we're offering different lineup as well. But property range from very small starter unit from 30,000 to 100,000. The most popular unit right now is a 2-bed, 2.5 bath for 50,000. Basically, again, you can upgrade from there based on finishes.
Fantastic. Yeah. So thank you very much for that. Des, I have a question that is, I think, fits for you, directed straight at you. So it's a question from Yvette. Thank you, Yvette, for the question. The question is, confidentiality is a big issue in Liberia. One of my concerns is the area of confidentiality. How can Ecobank and its partners ensure that my application, submitted documents, and approval decision is kept confidential and not shared, discussed with any parties that are not a part of my application process?
Okay, thank you very much, Yvette. Thanks for coming on this webinar. And this is a very important question. And one of my reasons for being involved in this process is to ensure that we're complying with all regulations, both at origin, where you are, and at the point where the properties are purchased. Now, Yvette, all documentation and data complies with all the data regulations and data acts of the US, the UK, the EU, and Canada. And we only use safe transmission modes to transfer your data. And that is only after we have clearance from you to transfer that data. So we have a safe transmission mode, which is an international and worldwide mode. It's secure, and your data cannot go to anybody else. Your data is not traded for data collection to data collection agencies, and we understand and we respect this very important compliance requirement. Thank you, Yvette.
Thank you very much. A question for Gibson. Just, is dual citizenship required for Liberians who are U.S. citizens?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, dual citizen, you are still a Liberian once you had dual citizenship. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, got it. Thank you. What is the process for other developers, full service architecture, civil engineering firms that want to participate in this program and direct their diaspora customers to the platform? So feel free to reach out to us. Perhaps I'll just put my email here within the question. Please feel free to reach out to me or Seso Global in general. I'm just going to put my email here. Reach out to us, and please obviously send us your information, and we'll review and vet. The bank will need to also approve you before you are put on the platform. Again, this is just to ensure a level of trust and transparency. So let me just roll through some of these questions. So another question for you, Gibson, is, will retired applicants on Social Security be eligible to participate?
If it is in Liberia, then maybe I have access to the information. But if it is in the US, I don't have access to that. So it will be difficult for me to access that. So I don't think, for me, that person will be eligible for now. We don't have that as part of the program, as a matter of fact.
Got it. Another question for you. Are there any prepayment penalties?
No, there's no prepayment penalty.
Got it. Okay.
If we grant you, if we grant you a loan of 100,000 today,
yeah,
and tomorrow you want to pay us back, that's fine with us.
Excellent. Okay, great. Yeah, Peter, I hope you've. I think Des also wanted to answer, or I don't know if Des, you wanted to answer a question on Peter as well, but perhaps I'll just move to, Des.
Just have,
sure.
I want to answer, Peter, we do the credit checks, we do the ID checks in your country of origination. Okay, we have all the tools to do that, of course, with your permission. So, and this is the first step of the criteria that Ecobank is going to use to assess your mortgage application. Also, I have an answer for Clade.
Can you read out their question?
Oh,
Can you, if you
I
have it?
wrote this down manually, so I have to search. This is for Clade.
Okay.
Yes, well, oh no, I think Clade asked two questions. The one I'm prepared to answer. The first question that he asked was, will Ecobank liquidation properties come up for auction? But I can't answer that. So, and I presume they could be offered, but I can't say that. I can't say that as a fact. Now, Clay, you said
Yes,
the presenter says that.
I think maybe just to confirm that yes, it will be.
Fantastic. Okay, Clay, the presenter says applicants, should have jobs. Are there thresholds as what annual salary they require? Now, Clay, you know that one of our roles in this process is to ensure that we are treating customers fairly. We are not going to shove a mortgage down your throat, okay? We have to stress test you to check your the affordability of the mortgage for you to ensure that it is comfortable for you to be able to make the mortgage repayments and, of course, the equity or contribution or deposit, as some people call it. So we have all these tools, and it is all part of our mortgage calculator. If we feel that it's going to be stressful for you to satisfy the mortgage conditions, we will come back and see how we can realign things with you. This is a one-on-one. After you go through the mortgage checker on the app, there still would be consultations. So we will talk you through this. We will tell you how best to approach the mortgage. And then we will now move to the second step of giving the application or passing the application to Ecobank. I hope that answers your question, Clade. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. There is a question as well, perhaps I'll direct it to you, Gibson, from Yvette. In addition to residential real estate, does this program apply to commercial real estate? I think that Yvette just wants clarity on this.
No, we are strictly looking at residential real estate.
Got it.
I think perhaps to add to that, as Gibson did say, I mean, this is solely for residential ones, but if there's a need for a commercial mode, I mean, building, that would not be under this product, but there would be other ways of being able to look at that. So just feel free to reach out.
Perfect. Thank you for that question. Peter asks, will credit worthiness be checked from leading credit bureaus in the United States? Yes, it will. And this will be done, as we mentioned, from licensed agents who have the appropriate licenses to do these checks on behalf of the client. And of course, you as a client will have to submit and give us permission to do this. Okay. So some of these questions, I'll say we'll also put in an FAQ, right, to share with you all, right? It'll be on the website shortly. And so thank you very much for these questions you've helped us with here today. We'll take another 10 minutes perhaps to answer some of these questions. And then from there, we'll then release everybody here on the call. I'm very grateful to everybody who's joined us here today. So I think some of these questions I'm running through have been answered. And so I'm just running through them here to ensure that I answer questions that are pertinent. Yeah, there's a question here from Zoe Thomas. and perhaps Ecobank can help me answer this. Is there an account minimum balance that must be maintained in the Ecobank account? That is one question. The other question is, are Ecobank accounts insured? If so, up to what amount? And then the last is, please confirm, can the diaspora mortgages only be used to build with the partner organizations? Can it be used to build a home on land that one already owns? This is a question from Zoe Thomas. Perhaps I'll give it to you, Gibson. The first is there an account minimum balance that must be maintained in the Ecobank account?
Yeah, for me, I think. Yeah, so the minimum balance for a savings account today in Ecobank is just $20 US. We don't want you to open an account and just leave it to become dormant. So you open an account, at least there should be up to $20 in that account. And then thereafter, you want to continue to deposit funds, fine. Your next question was?
Are Ecobank accounts insured? If so, up to what amount?
We don't have the accounts insured for now. All right, you open an account. I said you want to have insurance to cover your funds or your account for a period of time. We can arrange that because we have several insurance companies that we deal with. So if you want insurance on your account, fine. But we don't do that for you. So you as a customer, if you want your account insured, yes, we can arrange that.
Got it. Perfect. I think the last question. Sorry. Is please confirm, can the diaspora mortgages only be used to build with partner organizations such as Vision and Kemba, or can it be used to build a home on land that one already owns? I guess that's a construction.
As it is now, we have partner organization. That is a extent we can go for now. We could explore other opportunities later. But for the arrangement we have now, we are trying to do it with our partners. So if you have a land somewhere and you want your property constructed on that land that you have, it's not a part of the arrangement for now. But what we can do is to discuss with those developers and see whether it's something that could be done. So those who will be interested in doing that, then we can work with them as well.
Fantastic.
Then to just provide additional information. So I just spoke about the minimum balance on a saving account. For those who have like salary accounts here, you don't have a minimum balance. So you open an account once you have a job, and that's the account you're going to use for your salary. You don't need a minimum balance. So that account is zero. Now, if you have a checking account, all right, personal checking account, that one you have to have minimum of $50. In fact, there's no minimum balance, but you have to deposit an initial amount of $50 to open that account. But the account can go zero as well. So it's only the saving that actually have the minimum balance of $20. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One more question I'll direct to you, Gibson. Just a question around the interest rate. The question is, how did we get to the number of 12.5%, or what goes into that rate? And I guess, is it fixed or variable?
It's annual interest rate of 12.5%. So technically, if you prorate that in a year time, you'll be talking about something far less than something like 1.000% monthly. So it is annual interest rate, which is the 12.5%.
Okay, so I think maybe just to also add to that, Gibson, I think that the question regarding how did we get to that? So that's, if you like, the indicative or the average rate that we do expect from customers in this bucket. And I think on a case-by-case basis where there's a compelling need or the case can be made for a better rate, I think that can be looked at. In all of this, it's important to note that there's a bit around, in some cases, the unique needs of an individual. So I think where any of our customers has a peculiar need, I think between our partners, Seso, ourselves and the BAT, I think that we are able to, as it were, look at some of these unique needs and where possible, to be able to find a solution for that. So if you feel that what you have perhaps that does not fit into the standard issues that have been discussed here, reach out to the partners, and I'm sure that amongst ourselves we can work out something. Thank you.
Fantastic. So I know I of course we could stay on here for a long time, and I know there are a few questions here that perhaps I've not answered, or I think we've answered quite a bit of them. I am leaving my email, and well, I'll have my email sent to all respondents here. So feel free to reach out to me. I know a few of you would like to join the program. A few of you may have some questions that we'll probably answer probably in a separate conversation together. But I'm very grateful to everybody that's joined us here today for this particular session. I'd like to end this off with maybe a few parting words from our panelists today. And I'd like to start perhaps with the Honorable Gabriel Sally. And again, I'm very happy that we have in the audience Honorable Saran Kaba-Jones, Assistant Minister, Chief of Staff in the Office of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Daniel Kokoy, Jr., Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Erasmus Williams, Head of the President's Diaspora Unit for Ministry of State, Ms. G.T. Carter from the President's Diaspora Unit, Mr. Alfred Kape from the President's Diaspora Unit, and then the Executive Committee members for Ecobank Liberia. I'm very grateful to you all for attending and everybody else for attending. I'd like to give the floor to the Honorable Minister, the Honorable Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Gabriel Sally, to give us some parting words so that we may end this webinar.
Okay, thank you very much. We want to take this time, first of all, to extend our thanks and appreciation to all of the panelists, including the Managing Director of Ecobank and the Braithwaite and all of Gibson and all other panelists. We believe that we are heading for the right direction in this time. We believe that in our economic engagement as a nation, with the support of our partners across the world and our business counterparts, we are strongly convinced that this government will bring a lot of successful reaction along the way. And we are setting for a massive inflow of customers to this process because we believe there have been so much request for that. And with the standard of production and with the kind of guarantee that's been provided in this conversation today, we anticipate a great inflow of people into Liberia to engage in the real estate industry. And so on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the team of Foreign Affairs leaders, we want to say thank you. And also on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Yuma Boakai, who is always interested in the diaspora engagement. This venture is a worthwhile venture that needs to be supported by the Liberian government and will be supported by the Liberian government. And we are prepared all the time to cooperate with our partners to ensure that the agenda of the arrest agenda is fostered in all levels. And I want to say thank you to all of you and stay blessed.
Thank you very much for that. That was fantastic end to this fantastic webinar and initiative. I'm grateful to all the panelists and all the attendees for joining us here today. As mentioned, a recording of this will be shared to all registrants, and it will also be posted on our YouTube as well, so it's available to the public. Feel free to reach out to us if you're interested in getting a mortgage, being part of this program. If you have any insights or expertise that we can utilize to improve this product as well. Of course, this is a landmark project. A landmark product is the first of its kind in the market. We're extremely, extremely grateful to Ecobank Group and T.A. Braithwaite, and obviously the Seso Global team for putting this together. I'd like to end it here. Thank you very much to everybody that joined us today. And we will speak again very, very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, everyone. Thank you, Kweku, and thank you to everyone who graced this occasion.
Bye-bye.